One feature that I get asked about a lot concerning Tonex Pedal from folks who follow my channel is asking me about what they can and can't do with the external control when utilizing an external foot switch. So today we're going to talk about one particular feature called the macro feature. And it's a feature that we could easily miss if we're not aware it's there, but it can be extremely powerful. I'd also like to remind folks there's a very limited number of the white anniversary Tonex pedals available. I do have affiliate links to it below if you're so inclined and want to go grab yourself one of these. It's a limited edition anniversary Tonex pedal, as I mentioned, in white, and it also ships with 150 tone models from the top tone partners that work with IK Multimedia, and you will receive 30 of my premium tone models included with the pedal. So the links are below if you're so inclined, but let's get to today's topic. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a foot switch hooked up. Now I am using a normally open Rockstock Pedals tap tempo switch. Now the only issue with this for today is I didn't have any other foot switches in the studio here at the time I'm shooting this video. So this is a Momentary switch. So you're going to probably want a latching switch if you are going to use the macro function. So I'll show this to you today. It won't work any different other than the fact that I'm going to have to hold this down to show you the changes rather than have it press and latch. The difference is on a Momentary switch, it'll make the change while you press it down, but as soon as you release it, it reverts back to its old state. Whereas with a latching pedal, when we click it, it will latch and hold that setting until we click it again. So that's the only difference today. Not a big deal. I can still get the point across of what we have to do. The first step we're going to want to do is go up to our model encoder and long press that so that we can get into our global setting. Now the first step is going to be rotating that encoder till it says global settings. We're going to click on that. We'll get volume come up. We turn it one time to external control. We're going to click that, and it's going to ask us type. We're going to press the model controller again. We're going to want to choose the type of external controller hooked up to our external jack on the back of Tonex Pedal. We can use an expression pedal. It's a TRS or an RTS expression pedal. We could also move that to a normally open single switch. This is what I have. We can choose normally closed single switch. It's really going to depend on the particular foot switch that you're using. We can also use a normally open dual switch or a normally closed dual switch. But for this, we're going to be choosing normally open. That's going to be because that's the type of switch I'm using. That is going to differ for you depending on the switch you're using. You'd want to check with the documentation on the switch that you're using. We can then press our preset switch to get out of that, and then we can rotate this down to single switch function. So we have the choice of macro, tap tempo, or tuner. So what this is going to do, if I set this to tuner, when I press this, it's going to engage the tuner. If I set it to tap tempo, it's going to do just that. It's going to control the tap tempo as I select this. But today, we want to talk about the macro function. So once we set that to macro, I can back out of this using my preset encoder, all the way back to the global settings, rotate my model encoder one step back into the preset setup. I'm going to press that, and you'll notice external control comes up. I will press this again. Now you can see the external control is presently turned off. I want to turn that on. We need that on. Preset switch to go back. Then we're going to move over to external learn. We're going to press this. Now you'll notice that I have my preset C engaged on the foot switch right now. What I'm going to do is press my model encoder again, and you'll notice that the 3 LEDs light up and A is flashing. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to set a state of all of our settings within this preset. So for instance, let's say I wanted the gain to be a little bit lower and maybe just a little more bass, and let's go a little less mids. I'm just making arbitrary settings here. And let's say we press our parameter control and we go into, let's say, the delay, and we make sure that the delay is turned off. That's great. Once we're happy with those settings, we press B. And now it's going to learn the B state of the preset. So let's say that I want it to come into the gain and actually move that up to, I don't know, let's say 7 and add a little bass. Come over to the delay and actually turn that on. Now I head over to my foot switch C. I switch that on, and now what you're going to notice is when I press my switch, it's going to toggle between the two sets of settings that I just created for my preset. So what you're going to hear is one of my included presets that ship with the Tonex Anniversary pedal, and this is based off of my incredible 2-Rock Studio Signature amp. Really lovely preset that I really enjoy a lot. Now, that's the state number 1, or the A setting of the macro. Now, what'll happen when I press my foot switch? You can see the 2 different states we have. And again, if I was using a latching switch when I press this, it would just latch and hold on to that B state. So we would want to definitely be using a latching switch. But you can hear here that no delay. And then when I press this, it engages the delay, bumps the gain up, and whatever other settings I set that macro to have. So a really useful function, and if we really think about it, we could come up with a lot of possibilities for this. Let's say we just wanted to turn the delay on and off. We could assign one state of the macro to have the delay off, one state of the macro to have the delay on. Maybe we want to change reverb, and we can change a whole bunch of parameters all at the same time so that when we select with our foot switch, we can toggle back and forth between 2 different sets of settings for each preset. So I hope that that was clear, and I really hope that you find that helpful. It can be an incredibly useful feature that a lot of folks don't seem to realize is there, and it would be a real shame to miss out on that when we have an external foot switch that we could utilize to unlock this incredible setting. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching, and also please subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content. I'll be back really soon with some more. I'm going to leave you today with the demo video for one of my latest collections, which is available at the link below at my website, which is the Jack Victor Retro Ultimate Collection. Some really beautiful tones based off of my Victory V30 Mark II amp through a really killer Dr. Z warehouse guitar speaker Retro 30 loaded cabinet. So I hope you enjoy that on the way out. Links are below to not only the white Tonex anniversary pedals, but to all the tone models you heard today, but also to the tone models you're going to hear on the way out. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the music on the way out. Talk very soon. Ciao for now.